with the Joan Jerkovich Show at 910 KINA Salina, bringing you innovative talk radio that surprises, entertains, and sometimes informs you. We're going to have a very entertaining show today because we're going to be talking to a brand new roller derby all-female team that's just opened here in Salina. And we're talking to 4 of the members of the Salina Sirens, and right now we have with us here in the studio Meredith and Dory. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Hello.
I really want to call you roller derby chicks. Is that okay?
That's okay. Yeah, let's take that.
Because there's just a whole lot of sarcasm and fun that happens with what you guys do in roller derby. So first of all, tell me your stage names, or what do you actually call that? Your alter ego names that you use when you're skating.
Yeah, well, my name is Dory, and for the roller derby team, my derby name is Doris D-Day.
I love that, Doris D-Day. And how about you, Meredith?
My roller derby name is Voodoo Mary Death.
Voodoo Mary Death.
Yes.
You know what, you guys, though, I have to start this out and say those are pretty calm. Those are pretty tame.
They are.
Let me tell you, and I'm going to have to see if, I'll have to check with my radio people to see if there's anything I have to do to edit any of these names out. But I was searching on the internet, and I know you can find some of these pseudonyms for skater names, like Clitty Clitty Bang Bang, or Vulval Display of Power, Michelle Obama, Mazel Tov Cocktail. I'm probably going to have to get all of these edited out. You guys aren't so out there, are you? Sandra Day O'Clobber, Slavia Majora. I don't know what that's talking about, but it got a laugh out of you guys. So
I would say the majority of our members are moms. Not only are we professionals in the community, but a lot of us are mothers. So we really strive to make this a family-friendly event. I know I have kids ranging from 7 all the way up to 15, and I don't want my kids saying any of those words to refer to me. So family-friendly names are very important.
well, that's good for you to say, because I just went down into the dirt right away. So good of you to bring me back up to a little more respectable level here. So which of you can tell us what roller derby is? I understand it's called a contact sport. That's a little scary.
Yeah, well, roller derby started years ago, and it started out as a vault track, meaning the track was slanted. And back in the day, in the 70s, you probably remember watching them punching each other and elbowing each other, things like that. Right now, roller derby for women has changed into an actual amateur sport for ladies who are interested. And basically, it consists of rolling around on your roller skates in a circle track, flat track. And there are rules and regulations to where you can't just, go out and nail somebody if you want to. You have to block them using your arms and your hips, things like that. But there are rules and regulations, and if you break those, you go to the penalty box for 1 minute.
So are you saying back in the 70s even, there were elbows being thrown and all sorts of
Absolutely.
illegal blocks?
Oh, yeah,
if you want to call
absolutely.
them that?
Tripping and shoving and, I mean, real bruiser type stuff.
And that's exactly what I remember from watching back in the 70s, of roller derby. It was a rough, tough sport.
Yeah.
Sure, it was very similar to, like, if you think of world wrestling entertainment style, fun on the track. So if you think of wrestlers on skates, it was very similar to that, just for public entertainment.
Right. And so what kind of bruising and what sort of injuries do you sometimes see? Because what I saw with some of my research, there still are injuries because, it's any kind of a sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the most common injury is probably what they call rink rash. It'd be similar to road rash. It's just when you fall and you skid, and you wear pads and protective gear and things like that, but can't always protect against everything.
There's lots of injuries, anywhere from broken collarbones, fingers being dislocated or run over by other players. Knees can be a big issue, especially if you're falling a lot. Ankles, if you're not wearing protective gear, which is required, you're obviously going to get hurt. But there's lots of factors that come into play when you decide to play the sport.
So jumping into that, because you talked about your mothers, your professional women, career women, community women, what would entice someone to do this? Certainly, not the concern that they might lose a few days of work because of, an injury, but what is the enticement?
Well, I've always been interested in it, but I was really introduced to it back in the summer of 2010. I met a girl from Wichita who was on the ICT Roller Derby team there. She really talked about it and it got me more interested in it. And I'm a dental assistant, and my hands mean a lot to me and is my career. So, I wanted something that I could be a part of. It's like the guys out there in the community, they're into cars and racing, and we support that, but what do we have that the women can do here? And so I think this is a great opportunity for ladies and women around the community to get involved with and have something to do for extracurricular activity time.
So how do they get involved with this? Who do they contact? How do they actually get set up?
Well, they can contact me, Dory, the vice president of the team, and you can get a hold of me through Facebook or email. My Facebook name is Doris D. Day Pickle, and my email address is ei_butterfly@hotmail.com. And if you just get a hold of me that way, I'll get your information and we'll go from there. The other person you can contact is Kim Bearden. She's our president, and you can contact her the same way through Facebook, and her Facebook name is Kim Bohica Cupcake.
I love that, Bohica Cupcake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone can contact you to get involved with this sport. Then do they come in, when they come to you, do they even have to kind of have a little bit of an idea of how to roller skate, I assume?
Yeah, a little bit of a knowledge base is good. Really the willingness to learn. If you come, you can display your own gear, but we'll give you all the tools you need. We all started out kind of learning just the very, very basics, and there's nothing wrong with starting at the beginning, and we'll train you all the way through to know what you need to know.
We have something that you call a newbie program. It's a newbie training program where if there are girls that haven't skated since they've been 5 or something like that, but are really interested, they're going to have to go through our newbie program. We're going to train them on the rules, regulations, and the techniques that are used in the game. So they'll go through that newbie training program and graduate and become part of the team.
So tell me what the primary positions that people go into the ring with or go onto the skate with. There's several positions. I understand there's a jammer, a blocker, a pivot, anything else. Tell me what those are.
Well, the jammer is very similar to like your quarterback or running back in football. They're the ones that score the points. They're going to be your fastest skaters in agility and endurance. So they start out at the front of the team, and then there's going to be 3 girls behind them that basically form a wall, and they're called the blockers. And then behind them is the pivot, and the pivot is the person that sets the pace for the entire team. And, jammer starts behind the team, pivot starts in front. I got that mixed up there, sorry.
And the jammer's the one you look to do the scoring.
Yeah, absolutely. The jammer's objective is to get through that wall of girls, which are the blockers. And so if they get through,
and that's on the opposing team,
it's defense and offense simultaneously. And so when the jammer gets through the first jammer gets through that wall of girls and goes all the way around the rink and makes it and is the first jammer to do so, they get 5 points for their team. And also a point goes towards their team for every opposite or opponent that they pass. So in the meantime, the blockers are forming a wall together and trying to not only get their jammer through, but to also block the other team's jammer from getting through.
And so you do have 2 teams out at the same time, so that's a total of how many skaters?
10.
10 at a time.
Yes.
And are these timed out into a certain segment? Like, does this round take a certain amount of time?
Okay, 30 minutes?
Yeah, it's a 30-minute, 2-minute jams. 30 minutes and 2-minute jams. So we're out there skating for 2 minutes. We try and we try and get as many points as we can.
So what are some of the strategies to getting points and being a winning team? There's plays just like any team has that we won't disclose at this point. But there's always your opponents are listening.
Yeah, absolutely. There's techniques and strategies and team plays that come into play.
So do you have like a coach that's kind of helping you work with this? You have someone that's kind of versed in, you know, what some of the strategies and, you know, things that you can do to take this team to a winning level?
We do. Actually, we've got a, right now kind of a small team of coaches and refs and NSOs, which are non-skating officials. We have spent, this is technically the off season right now, so we've spent the last several months during the off season kind of building our program because we are brand new. So a lot of our coaching has, it's kind of the basics, you know, getting the major fundamentals down and getting everybody kind of on the same page. But then, yeah, once we move into the season technically starts this coming week. So the official training season starts, so then we'll start moving into learning our plays and things like that, and you know, getting everything a little more official. And
so how long have you been an organized team?
Technically, we've been together since June. We've been practicing since October. It took us quite a few months to find a location to practice in that was big enough that could hold all of us, and also be big enough to set up a track.
So you have to have your own track to set up, like you could have a gymnasium, but you don't skate on the floor, I would think, or where are you practicing?
Right now we're practicing at the beautiful Webster Conference Center that's north Ohio, right over I-70, and they just have a gymnasium floor, and we actually have yoga mats that we cut up into like dashes, and we measure out the track, and we set that up so that if we run over the track, you know, we won't trip or anything. But the actual track, we don't have to have a track that we lay down, or a floor that we lay down that we have to skate on. We can make our own track. Once it's time to bout or when we do games, we will make the track out of rope with tape over it. So.
And that could be at this same practice site that you have? Will you be hosting some of these competitions?
we will be hosting them. I'm not sure that we will be using Webster as our bout location, but they're certainly gracious enough.
That's kind of up in the, our bouting locations that we're going to hold here in town, it's up in the air kind of right now where we're going to be doing that. We have lots of opportunities and places that have potentially been interested in us, and we'll just kind of see where we can bout at.
So this is going to kind of be your virgin launch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting. Well, we're going to have to take a little break, but there's plenty more I want to talk to you about, and certainly want to comment on some of your outfits and the way you look. Encourage our people to go to video and take a look. There's a lot of sexy in this, I have to say. I've got girls in the office today in fishnet stockings, and that's just a little teaser to get our listeners to go to video and look at you, as well as we're going to do some video of you skating. So when we're taking this short break, again, this is Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show, and go to joanjerkovich.com for those video outtakes I'm talking about, for podcasts and a link to our iTunes. It's the Joan Jerkovich Show on 910 KINA Salina. Devin, I did stop just a tiny early because sometimes it's just a matter of what we're talking about, so we'll add 10 to the next. We'll make an extra minute to the next one. So what else do you think we need to go with here?
We're definitely classy, not trashy.
I started it out real trashy.
It's okay. It's okay.
I have a feeling it's going to go bleep, 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 that whole first segment.
I don't know.
You know, I hadn't actually thought that through, or especially I could see Meredith over there like, oh my gosh, where's she going with that?
No, it's okay.
But I thought your comment was really good.
And I think
Because as a mother myself, you know, and stuff too, you know, that is your sport though, isn't it? Is there quite a bit of that with the sport? That people go, you know, push the envelope, so to speak?
Absolutely, yeah.
I think so.
I mean, there's a nationally known girl that what she wears is very inappropriate for what we're going for.
But I think that, I mean, you can imagine the Kansas City teams are a little more risque.
Yeah.
We're a real Salina team. I mean, I think that we wear short shorts, and you know, we've got some girls in fishnets and things like that. But
we made it a point to the girls that we are classy, not trashy, and things will be covered. But yes, you can look sexy, but not too sexy.
We need to continue this conversation, so I'm going to get right back to it, because this is exactly what I want to get on the air. I want to talk about this classy, not trashy thing. So, because to me, I have to say, this is, you know, some of the thing that people look at and think about with this sport.
yeah.
I mean, it is some of the draw too, so. Okay, Devin, we're gonna do 10, and we're still running, so we should be good, right? Let me clear out, and then whenever you say go, we'll start back in.
You're good to start.
We're back, and this is Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show. We're back here talking to our roller derby chicks. They said it was okay if I called them chicks. I don't mean to be disrespectful. If you were listening to the first segment, I certainly took this into the dirt very early. And when we went on our little break here, I was talking with Meredith and Dory about, the sexuality that's kind of portrayed with roller derby. And I think Dory had a real good comment about the team and the emphasis for their team, and that is,
Well, we're definitely classy, not trashy.
darn. The guys out there are all going, darn.
Oh, no worries, no worries. You're going to be seeing some hot chicks on some skates with some fishnets and short shorts, but don't get too crazy out there. You're not going to be seeing anything too risque. We got
But here in Salina, short shorts with fishnets is kind
that's a
of
little,
kind of
that's,
risque
yeah,
itself.
it is very, yes.
And I saw some pictures, I know, of your team captain or whatever, if you call Kim, is she your team captain?
Yeah,
Bohica Cupcake?
Bohica Cupcake, yep, that's our president.
Your president?
Yes, ma'am.
and she, I would say, pictures I've seen of her on her Facebook are like a pinup girl.
Yes, that she loves the pinups.
And has she had that professionally done? Do some of your players go that route and have some professional photographs taken to kind of promote their image?
I think some of them do, but I think a lot of those girls just do it on their own. That's, they have their own style. I would say that there's a lot of girls. Some girls are real pinups. Some girls are, they have their own style.
Yeah,
It's
we
amazing.
have a lot of variety. We have sporty girls who aren't going to get too crazy when they dress up. They're going to be wearing the sporty stuff. We have sexy girls that are wanting the short skirts or fishnets, booty shorts, things like that. And I mean, we have just a variety of girls and things that they're interested in. Some like the pinup look. Some have, got their hair done and had some pictures taken, things like that. And yeah, we've got a big variety.
Well, and that sounds like you're trying to just be friendly to whoever comes on board. Because when I looked at your big team photo on your website, I could see that there were different types of girls participating.
Absolutely.
Some that really had, a fair amount of makeup on, and others who just looked like they were there to skate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and that's what we have, and that's what we love about it. We have such a variety.
And how many members are on your team?
Gosh, I
That was
I
a
looked
big,
at our
that was a
roster.
big group.
I looked at our roster yesterday, and I had 50 people on the roster, but that's not active. That has some non-active people on there, so I would probably guesstimate
I would say 35.
35. 35
That
is
is
a
a big
good
group.
number. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big group.
Yeah.
And technically, we're still taking recruits until the 15th, which is, like I said, is coming right up. It's this Sunday.
Mhm.
So after
January
the 15th, then
And we're going to be running this show after that.
Okay.
So, so they won't hear that, because we're pre-recording with your
Sure.
show today. But
Okay.
still, I'm sure that if they want to follow your website,
Yep.
get in
Yep.
contact for another time when you have
Yep.
open
There's
recruiting.
gonna all
we
yep.
do have recruiting.
Yep.
So when we're talking about, this being a Salina group and a Salina event, how are you different from those ones in Kansas City? Tell us what you were telling me at break. Some of those Kansas City teams push the limits, don't they? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I think they really do. They're a bigger team. They're a bigger city. They just come from a different mentality. They've just, I think that they're a rougher sport. I think that they're a little more risque sport. I think that they can get a lot further pushing the envelope. And as a Salina team, I think that, we fit right in the middle. We're not too flashy. We don't push the envelope too much, but we are a little bit on that edge to where it's at least,
It's fun to watch.
and it's interesting.
And
to
who,
see
and
what
who are some of the
people
big
come out.
names in the sport, that are, like you said, really pushing the limits?
Oh
Can you
gosh,
even
I
say the name?
can't even think of any. I don't want us to forget. The Wichita team is definitely the Kansas nationally ranked sanctioned team that we do have in Kansas, and they're very professional. I mean, they have some girls that are looking real good on their team, but they're very professional looking too, and that's kind of they're big supporters of us too, and that's kind of our what do I want to say, our
Your mentors?
Yes, our
Kind of
mentors.
they're your mentors,
Yeah,
the people you kind
yeah.
of look to help you form your new
absolutely
team and
yeah,
stuff.
Absolutely.
Now, they can't be nationally, did you say nationally ranked?
They're ranked. They're
They
sanctioned.
have to be a winning team or nationally sanctioned.
Well, they are sanctioned. They're actually Kansas's sanctioned team. So
What does that mean?
meaning they've been together to be sanctioned, you have to be together for at least a year, and you're basically nationally recognized. And they are.
Well, I know it was kind of interesting to me when I was looking at different websites for roller derby teams. There were some real interesting websites. And here again, I think speaking to yours, that it's nicely done, but it's not cutting edge. It's not pushing the limits where when I'd click on something, a blood splat would
Right.
come up on my, a blood splat would come up on my computer. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
So, you know, is there blood loss in these? I mean, what are they promoting here? I mean, it made me kind of just got me in that feeling of the sexuality, you know, some of the aggressiveness for women.
I think it just depends on the team and what they're striving for. Like Meredith said earlier, you know, we have the majority of the ladies on our team are mothers, and we are seen in the community on a daily basis. So, you know, it just depends on the team and what the team strives for. And we, from the very beginning, we wanted to be classy, not trashy, and we didn't want to be all crazy and bloody and gory. And we just wanted to be professional.
So what do people say when your friends and even your coworkers or your bosses say when you tell them this is what you do?
Are you actually one of those girls?
Yeah,
You actually skate?
One of those girls.
We get a lot of laughs. People don't take us seriously, and we just kind of brush them off.
But we've had a lot of folks that have showed up kind of unannounced at practices just to kind of see what it's all about. And after you see a practice, you realize that it's a lot of hard work. You know, the girls they're fun to look at. They're pretty, but they're tough. And you know, it's a great athletic sport, teamwork.
So you
It's
do
something
have
to
people
see.
that are able to just show up at practices and,
do.
and
Yeah.
kind of watch, kind of get
A
a
lot
sneak
of
peek?
we have a lot of
The
girls who
Webster
are.
Conference Center, I have a feeling, is going to have a lot of guys, you know, tracking out.
Yeah, Webster Conference Center is a fantastic place. We're very thankful to have them supporting us.
Absolutely.
And yeah, we have girls that are interested in the team and being a part of it, but just don't know what it's all about. And before they join, they want to check us out and watch us. So they'll come out and watch us and decide from there if this is something for them or not.
Well, and another thing, you know, since you're kind of the leaders of the organization here, that I can't let you end our conversation without you having an opportunity to tell us, you sort of have a mission. You sort of have women in mind with what you intend to put out there in the community and promote. So what can you say about that?
We just want there to be a sport or an extracurricular activity that women can enjoy, just like the men out there, like I said earlier, that are into cars and racing, and we have the Salina Speedway available for them. But what do we have for the ladies in the community? And we just want to promote health and fitness for these ladies and something fun for them to do.
Yeah.
A place and teamwork, a family. It's a sisterhood.
Yeah.
We want to supply that for them.
It's a sisterhood. That's a good thing to end on, because
Yeah,
I can
for
tell
sure.
there's a lot of camaraderie, just those of you that came in here. So thanks so much to both of you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, you've been listening again to Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show at 910 KINA Salina. Stay tuned, because we have 2 more roller derby chicks coming on to talk to us about their outfits and their names. And you'll want to hear more about this with Joan at 910 KINA Salina. Okay. Well, did your website talk about you kind of have some mission and, you know, just, I like that. You kind of have involved the community in some of this.
Yeah, we tried. Actually, part of our dues and stuff every month, you might want to talk to the other girls about it. You have to do volunteer work in order to be.
You have to be eligible to play in bouts.
And it's all, we're very community
Now, is
based.
that just
About-
your organization, or
Yeah.
is that other,
Well,
like
I mean, like
does that?
Wichita, you have to be eligible to play too. I don't know their rules and regulations, but they do have some, like you have to work a bout or something. You know, you have to volunteer, participate in the group, and people keep track of that, and you have to be eligible to play, or you know, you might be able to play 5 minutes of a bout or something like that. But
Oh, wow, wow.
you definitely have to be eligible to.
Who, was this your brainchild, one of you? Or
Kim's.
Kim, and Kim couldn't be here today, right?
That's true.
Are you talking the actual getting a roller derby team?
Yeah, it had to be more than just one person,
well,
I'm sure,
since-
several of you.
Yeah, well,
Takes a team.
I've been trying to do it since summer 2010, but my idea was to try and find a location first
Mhm.
and then get a team together, and I could not find a location.
Mhm.
And then Kim got the idea of, forming a Facebook fan page, and people started liking it and got interested in it, and so that's how it started. So she got the group together first, and then we looked for a location, and I found out through Facebook and got a hold of Kim and asked her if I could be a part of it as much as I could, because she was doing my goal for that year, so,
Mhm. Mhm.
and she did it, and so, yeah. That's
Well,
kinda
how cool. I mean, I don't know that you're gonna be able to, with what you've created here, you can't give all credit to any one person.
Exactly.
Just like your
yeah,
team.
because
You're not gonna succeed unless
It's-
you work as a team.
absolutely.
And,
yeah.
social media is such a big thing anymore that it's amazing. You have quite a few friends on your page
Oh,
now,
yeah.
like
600
600 and
some.
something.
Well,
Yeah.
and one of our most valuable members, especially in the very beginning, was Jamie. She was our marketing manager. She
Oh,
got married and no longer had the time for it, but those first 4
The
months,
first
she
4
was
months,
a
yeah,
workhorse.
our marketing director at the time was pretty intense. She was a pusher.
Oh,
She-
and
and
you're
she
talking
wasn't
about
even-
this Jamie again?
Yeah, and Jamie, and
That's what it takes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she wasn't even skating. She was just somebody that wanted to be part of it.
So yeah, it is. It's everybody together and
Mhm.
moron support.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much. Let's bring the
Yeah.
other two in
All
and
right,
we'll
for
talk
sure.
with them. A big thanks to my listeners for staying tuned in to the Joan Jerkovich Show here on 910 KINA. We're here with our second guest. We have two more of the ladies from the Salina Sirens Roller Derby team. We have Crystal and Lucy here. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, tell us your roller derby names, first of all. Crystal, your name is?
I am Crystal Pistol Whipper Freeman. My
Pistol
numbers,
Whipper.
absolutely.
Alrighty, got that. And Lucy, your name is?
Splittin' Von Kitten.
Splittin' Von Kitten. Ooh, how fun. We were even having fun when you just got down in here and sat in the chairs. And again, people just have to see you guys on video. You've got your own personality. And Crystal and I were talking about how, her husband had said, tell me what he said about the 100 coolest things you can do in your lifetime.
Yeah, it was a book that was written, The 100 Coolest Things You Can Do Before You Die. And the 88th thing in the book was to pick your roller derby girl name. So it's pretty cool. It actually is, you get to express yourself and show a little bit of you and a little bit of closet you.
A little bit of closet you. Did you spend some time really thinking about these names? Because they bring out so much persona in who you are or who you want to portray, like your alter ego. So
Mhm.
did you give it some thought?
Yeah, it took a little while. I had to do several polls.
So who did you poll?
Let's see, there's just Splittin' Skittin'. There was
That was one of the ones you
one of them.
considered.
There was Southern Belle Buster,
Oh gosh, I like that. Southern Belle Buster.
and then I wanted.
It wasn't Ball, it was Belle, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted Lucille Brawl.
Oh,
Apparently
I
it was
love
taken.
that.
I was
Lucille
so
Brawl.
sad.
Oh, darn, that's a good one.
Yes.
So did you poll some friends and family for that?
Yes.
Or is
Facebook.
that what you did?
I love Facebook.
You went on Facebook and had people
Mhm.
vote.
Also did Mama Mayhem, because I have 7 children between my husband and I. So
Oh, wow, you are Mama Mayhem.
yeah, but that was
Yeah.
taken too.
Yeah. And now where did you go to find out those are taken? Is there a registry of
Yes,
these names?
you have to register your names,
Absolutely.
names and numbers.
Oh, so even the names that you have, you had to register.
Mhm.
So like how many thousands of names are there out there? Do you have any idea? Because this is an international,
Yeah,
this is a
absolutely.
worldwide sport.
Absolutely. Well, and once we become a team, our names have to be approved by the roller derby league as well. So we have to go through several approvals before you can actually earn your name. So you pick who you want to personify, and you go with it until you're told no. So
So is there
we've all
anything
chosen
besides just picking out a name that means something to you and sounds fun for the team, besides that gives approval?
well. Your name and number.
Okay.
Your number has to be approved as well.
So does this get a little official where it sounds like it, where
Oh,
you have to
absolutely.
submit? Is this what is the name of the
Absolutely.
organization that kind of oversees this?
It's WFDA, it's Women's Flat Track Derby Association. We have to be a practicing team for 12 months before we can be sanctioned into the league. So in June, we'll be invited to hopefully qualify to become the newest newest division.
But in the meantime, you can have matches, or what do you call them? You don't call them matches. What do you-
Bouts.
Bouts. You can have bouts in the meantime.
Definitely, we'll have some scrimmages coming up here real soon, and we'll be able to host bouts once we're sanctioned.
And then how far do you have to travel for this? Because the girls earlier in the earlier segments were saying that your mentor team that you kind of look to is in Wichita. So do you have to travel quite a ways for bouts, or do you know where you might be traveling for
You
those?
can travel other states.
Even to other states?
Absolutely, you have to qualify for the traveling team, you have to attend more practices, you have to put in more volunteer
Things like
hours.
65, have 65% attendance just to travel.
Definitely, and there's a team in Iowa, a team in Austin, I mean, there are several surrounding states that you would get to participate with, so it'd be really cool.
Now, what was the 65%, Lucy, that you
You
mentioned?
have 65%
Explain that.
attendance in order to do the traveling team.
So what, you mean of your members,
No,
65?
65, your attendance, you have to attend practice.
Oh, I
65%.
see. Okay, so that's another question I wanted to bring up, is you have to somehow be eligible to
Mhm.
play. So one of them is that you have to have attended at least 65% of the team practices. And what are some of those other things to be eligible to play?
I passed your minimum skills test.
Okay, how is that done? How is that, how are you coached for that, and how is that tested?
We practice our minimum skills every practice, and then from my understanding, someone comes out and tests us. We also have to be able to do 25 laps in 5 minutes.
So you have your coach that's showing you what these minimum skills are, and you have to test out for that. Is that a hard thing for some of your newer members to work up to?
Oh, it's challenging for everybody.
Is it really?
Oh, absolutely. We have people who are skating at beginner's level. We have girls who are young who never really got out of skating. I know myself, I'm 32, I hadn't put skates on for years, so, just kind of brushing up on some old skills and learning some new skills. And
So one of them is a timed trial of having to, run the lap. What are some other skills? Because that can't be the only one, I'm sure.
oh no.
Minimum skills is like your stops, your like 1 knee, 2 knee drops, your
Your falls, yeah, you have to be really good at falling. I mean,
You have to
Now,
do
what do you
balance.
use a drop? To me, a drop would almost
It'd
sound
be a
like
fall.
something relative to,
like
okay.
a 1 knee fall. You have to be up in 2 seconds.
Oh,
You have 2
And
seconds
have-
to get up.
Yeah,
is
you
that,
can't really use your
is that the
hands to pull
rules?
yourself
Is
up.
that in the rule book?
Mhm.
Like, otherwise what happens if
Absolutely.
you don't get up
You
in 2
can't
seconds?
keep up with the pack.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could create a hazard.
Oh, so a lot of this is
roadblock.
geared towards safety,
Mhm.
Oh,
of
absolutely,
course.
absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
So you have to do the 1 or 2 knee
Mhm.
get-ups.
Right.
Oh
And
gosh,
same with
I'm
your
already out. I
Yeah.
can't do that.
same with like your
I'm a little older than you
Four
ladies.
point
but-
Yeah, we have
drop.
4-point falls.
So
and-
4-point, you have to get up in a certain
In
period of
2
time too, and
seconds.
4-point would be hands and knees.
The most would be our
right?
baseball
It's-
slides. That's 3 seconds.
Knees first, and then elbows.
Now, what's a baseball slide? It's
Just
knee
like your-
first?
yep.
Yeah, just like your,
You're just sliding into base.
traditional baseball slide. Your knee, hip, elbow.
Well,
down.
that makes me think too then, do you get women athletes coming on board that
Well,
maybe
that's
have played
absolutely what you
baseball and
are.
other
Oh,
sports?
absolutely. We've
Because
all-
this is a sport.
Yes.
We've all had some sort of a sport. I know I myself played softball, a lot of softball, so those skills come in handy, absolutely. But if you aren't skilled in those areas, there's skills you can teach yourself. You just have to be willing to learn, definitely.
And I understood from the other 2 guests that there was some other things with eligibility relative to volunteering in the community. That was a surprising
48 hours
piece.
a
Very
year.
important.
Tell me some more about that.
You have to have so many volunteer hours to be a part of the team, and then to qualify for the traveling team or to be a participant of the home team. It's not just, you can't just say you're a part of the team, you have to really prove
They
that
want us to be
it's
involved in the
important to
community.
you.
Now, who sets those standards?
We have kind of worked on our own standards.
So that came from
Our own
your team
bylaws.
itself, not from the sanctioning groups?
Right.
Or from your
we've looked
mentor
at
group
their
in Wichita or
bylaws.
anywhere else?
We've gone off their bylaws, but we have tweaked it to suit our team's needs.
Mhm.
And our president, she's a very loving, giving person, so she has her own expectations of what, she wants our team to be founded upon as well. So she's added her own, morals and into it as well, so.
Well, and I'm looking at the 2 of you thinking, okay, who on the team is pushing the limits of sexuality? of having just a heck of a lot, maybe a little more fun with this than some others. Because Lucy sitting here's got some amazing tattoos and a fun little streak of reddish hair. And I want people to go on video and see. And Crystal's got her short shorts on, the fishnet hose here. I just have to tease these people into going on video to watch. So
Sure.
are you two of the limit pushers, or are you more
Yeah, I would say we're like,
We're very confident. Yeah, it's
it builds confidence. That's one of the
Really?
main reasons to go into it. Before I would have never dressed this way.
Is that
I'm too-
right?
I
Really?
started getting my tattoos after I joined, and you know,
Wow.
just it definitely builds that sense of self-worth and confidence. And
So tell me some more about that. You know, this really was a big transition, almost a life transition, a personal transition for you. Tell me some more about how you stepped into this team, Lucy, and then took it to this point of confidence.
well, Kim was advertising on, I think it's one of the buy-sell trades on Facebook, and I said, yeah, I want to join. And you know, once we started practicing, and you know, I started going to the other bouts, and I started seeing what I can do, because I could barely skate when I started. I was falling down everywhere.
Yeah.
And, you know, I started seeing that I could do it. And I started meeting other people, because I work at home. I'm with children all day long. I don't get to have much adult conversation.
Do you have a daycare or something
Yes.
in your home?
Yes.
Of course, you need some companionship
Mhm.
with other females.
So, and
And
I've had a
some
lot
outlet.
of life changes over the last couple of years. And I think I really needed something for me, and to show my children that I can be more confident in myself.
That you can be a confident, powerful woman. And I think there's a lot you're not saying. I'm feeling it from you, and I'm not asking you to say it, but I think you're seeing this has been so empowering for you as a woman.
Yep.
And what's the significance of your tattoo? It looks like a dandelion.
It's a dandelion. It goes into
Uh-huh.
sparrows.
Into sparrows.
And then it says, I shall not fear evil, for thou art with me.
Oh, wow. Now tell me how you decided upon that, because obviously you gave that some thought. It's very
Right.
permanent to get a
Um,
tattoo.
I'm very Christian. You know, it's definitely a big part of me. The dandelion is for wishes come true. I've met my soulmate. I married him after, you know, a recent divorce, and then I love rockabilly. So, so I had to add in sparrows. So instead of the usual.
And
crows
all
everyone
of
else
these
has.
transitions happened after you joined the team, it sounds like. So you've had a lot happening, because this is a very new, very young team.
Yes.
So Crystal, tell us a little your story of how you got excited and interested and involved in this sport.
Well, kind of the same start. I had seen a few posts by Kim via Facebook and was very interested in it. I'm a Southern girl, so I grew up watching roller derby, but it was much more theatrical, you know, a totally different version of what we call roller derby. So
Theatrical, what was
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I
Well,
I
they
kind of
used
knew
to-
more of the no holds barred
Yeah,
roller
very
derby from the
aggressive,
70s.
very
So when you,
aggressive,
is that what
very-
you mean by theatrical?
yeah, absolutely. It was
Oh,
very
yeah.
aggressive, very theatrical. You know, they had more role-played scenarios. The floors were vaulted, so you could fall over the rails and slide down the floor in front of the pack. So
More like the wrestling you
yeah,
hear about.
exactly,
Mhm,
exactly.
The
Well,
theatrics.
now there is a lot more expected out of you. You know, it's flat track, so you have to use a lot more of yourself for speed purposes. You are much more expected to be an athlete than, you know, just to put on a good show. So that intrigues me. I'm very competitive, but I myself I've been a stay-at-home mom for years, so you kind of get smoldered a bit, and I was really excited to, I don't know, to just be active, you know, just to be a part of a team.
Bring
I
out
love the
this
team
alter
environment.
ego.
Yeah,
Grr.
absolutely.
I want you to growl
Competitive.
for me.
Yeah, just to be competitive.
And I can't, I mean, and Crystal, you know, in our break when we were starting up here, you know, the way you're dressed, I said, I bet this helps your sex life with your husband.
It helps every athlete.
He
You know,
comes
it
out there and
helps.
watches his wife out here in these
Yeah.
short shorts and skating around,
It does. Can't help but get a little bit of excitement, you know, in whatever avenue.
And that's
it's
part
in.
of the
You go home
sport,
and-
and what's wrong
You
with
go home and you
that?
feel good.
You
It's,
do.
and that's empowering
You
too,
do.
because, I mean, in talking with you ladies, I mean, you still are career women and
Absolutely.
mothers and wives,
Absolutely.
and you honor that, but why can't you be this powerful,
Very much so.
sexy beast of a woman?
Very much so. Well, there's something into saying, I did 75 push-ups last night. You did
Oh, look at those
what?
guns! Look at
Yeah,
those
yeah,
guns!
like it's-
Oh my gosh!
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
It creates a great self inside, and that just affects every avenue of you.
So that's also a discipline that it sounds
Oh,
like,
very
because
much
you're
so.
talking
Very
about,
much
you're
so.
having to work out to be able to
Oh, yeah.
perform in the ring or whatever.
We're practicing, exercising 3 nights a week. Works out to be about 2.5 hours of practice. So there's a lot of devotion goes into it.
Well, we're gonna have to take a little break, but this is just so much fun talking to you both. You're here, listeners, listening to Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show. And again, you're gonna wanna see these ladies on the video outtakes, so go to joanjerkovich.com for those. We'll also link you there to the podcasts, iTunes, and even my blogs. We're gonna take a short break, but stay with us. We'll be right back on 910 KINA Salina. It's fun.
That was fun.
What do you wanna ask the
Because
ladies?
I thought it was gonna be.
I'm afraid, huh?
It says he's
No,
afraid.
there's no reason to.
Yeah, there are
I
some
told
men
him
that
my
are
other board
intimidated.
operator who's single would be jealous that he's here today. You know, but it does sound like most of your ladies are like, do you have very many single girls on the
There are.
team? I'm
there
sure
are,
you do.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great
It's
mix
just-
of all kinds. I mean, it's like a melting pot, if you will,
Mhm.
of different.
Size, shape, personalities,
Yeah.
backgrounds.
Is there anything that we haven't touched on that you think might be interesting?
I don't
'Cause
know,
we've
we really
gone
hit
through-
the community. That was kind of important to, you know,
Mhm.
I mean, we really want to
Mhm.
be just seen as like a very
Family-friendly.
family-oriented, community-oriented. We, you know, you talk to so many people, and some people, it's just like almost a mockery. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, roller derby, huh? And
Yeah.
but it's
Oh.
real. Like it's
Yeah.
it's
yeah.
not a joke, and we really want to be here to stay. Like we
Mhm.
really want to
Mhm.
grow some roots here and
It's
establish.
taken us so long just to even get a place.
It has, you know, and we're
Mhm.
finally to the point where we're closing our doors. We have an amazing roster of ladies. You know, we're not
Not
everybody is
open.
invited to
Yeah.
come anymore. So
Right.
it's exciting. You know, we're really
You don't have open
Yeah.
enrollment or opportunity or whatever,
Exactly.
which you may again.
now it'll be by invite. We'll have opportunities for you to come watch if you're interested.
Uh-huh,
You know, so
uh-huh.
it's evolving, which is
Very exciting.
It
Very
is.
exciting.
It is. It's very cool.
Okay.
We want to get to that point where they're putting signs out, you know, home of the Salina Sirens.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what was that
So we
again?
want to get to the point where they're putting signs out that says home of the Salina Sirens.
Oh, yeah, let's get you like Bill Graves and Steve Hawley, right?
Yeah.
Might as well aspire high. You know, you're gonna have it on the interstate coming in, home of the Salina Sirens.
We may not have flown outer space, but darn it.
Yeah, yeah.
We've aimed high.
We're not astronaut, but we're roller derby, all right.
Definitely.
What's the difference?
You need space though when you got roller derby.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, and I just had an
Just don't make us
interesting
mad.
question. Oh my gosh,
Well,
okay,
now
that's a
it's
good
not
one to
just
start
one,
with.
it's a whole team.
Okay. Well, Devin, we're gonna go another, did I say 9?
You said 9, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll go 9 and then,
And that came out pretty well, so.
yeah, it did.
Well, I'm ready whenever you are,
All
Joan,
right.
so I'll just go off of when you start.
Get my correct page up here. Welcome back, listeners. This is Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show on 910 KINA. We're wrapping up our conversation with the roller derby chicks. We're here with Crystal and Lucy in our second segment. And Lucy, I have to say, ask you a question. You said this just a minute ago on video. You said, just don't make us mad. Come on, Lucy, spill it. What
Well,
are we talking
it
about?
comes with the confidence, you know, standing up for yourself and, you know, we make a lot of jokes towards each other, you know.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
You play up some
It's
of that
great.
We do.
aggressive
Yeah.
confidence
Oh,
when
yeah.
you're out
We'll
there
skate by
together.
A teammate, slap them on the butt, and
You can't help it after being on your skates for 2 hours sweating profusely and having the most amazing time of your whole entire day. I mean, it
You
really,
feel good.
yeah, it's inspiring and empowering. I mean, it makes you want to do your best in the next practice and the next day. I mean,
And it's almost like you're
awesome.
developing a little family or a sisterhood.
Mhm.
I mean,
It's
I
definitely
can
sisterhood.
sense a
Oh,
very
yeah.
strong connection
Oh,
because
yeah.
I pick up sort of on energies because, radio, you just hear what we're talking about, but I can
Sure.
see you and sense the way you sit together and look to
And
each other.
whenever we have a teammate that needs us, we're right there. When one of our teammates knows someone that needs us, like Christmas time, we got together and helped others out that needed it.
What you're talking about outside of the
Yes.
sport.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've all grown up in different avenues and areas of life, and, some from better, some from worse, so it doesn't matter who you're talking to, somebody can relate. There's somebody that's been there, and it's a great,
Do you have kind of an age range that you have seemingly had come on board? Do you have an age range for the people on your team? I know you've closed your enrollment or whatever you want to call it. Now
Sure.
it's by invitation only. You were telling me that at break.
definitely.
But do you have an age category that you look at, or is it more skill related or interest,
It's
enthusiasm?
No, I mean, we take 18 and up. And we
Definitely.
have
Is
some
that
women that
in the
are
federation or the sanctioned teams?
Right.
You have to be 18.
You do.
So
right
18
without
and up.
unless you have a parent's permission, which we have one player that is like that. From my understanding, she just can't bout until she's 18.
Oh, she
So
can
she can
practice, but she
practice.
can't actually bout.
Right.
Well, and we hold our own insurance policies for ourselves as well.
Mhm.
Another thing that came back with the new style of roller derby is we are insurable. So to be a part of the federation, you also have to hold your own insurance. So I think that goes as far as insurance.
And one thing I
rules as
didn't
well.
ask earlier was the cost, because you're talking about having to find a practice place, set
absolutely.
down some mats to practice on. Obviously, your gear can't be inexpensive. So what about the cost? And have you had to raise money? Does this come from your own pockets? Because I'm sure you've had people come on that didn't have much to spend for themselves.
We have dues that we pay or players pay me every month. Then we
Because you're
pay
the
our-
treasurer.
Right, we pay our gear, and I think it costs anywhere between $200-300 for your pads and your skates, and then we'll have to pay our insurance and pay for uniforms, and we pay our rent, and pretty much all that's taken by the dues that the players pay.
So there is a bit of a cost to the players. You said $200 to $300 to get dues,
Mhm.
gear, etc.
Now, we've had chances where
Have you
they've
had
gotten
some-
sponsors.
I was gonna say, you're more than welcome to go out and try and pull your own personal sponsors.
And we have a few of those.
And what would they do? Would they like wear the sponsor's name on their helmets?
Absolutely.
Or,
If they
Absolutely.
can, we put them on our website.
Uh-huh.
Depending on how much they contribute, depends on what level they are. And they could be anywhere from just a personal sponsor, and they'll have their name on the website, to a huge sponsor where they'll have their name slathered everywhere.
Mhm. So in other words, more likely you have a sponsor who's sponsoring the team
Mhm.
versus an individual? Is
And a lot of
that
times
usually the
we'll-
way you do it?
Right, and we'll use that money to help those who can't afford their gear to get their gear.
Yeah, we hope to eventually be able to help out, the newbies when they come on and, with that rough start, getting started, real interest, sometimes it needs a little bit of an assist, so we hope to be able to do that in the future. But yeah, most of us all know we've kind of been on our own. We've shared some things amongst the group, and someone will get something new, and, the old comes into play for somebody new, so that's nice.
Mhm.
I was lucky enough, I got myself a personal sponsor that helped with skates, so yeah, you really,
But you're there to help out the new
Oh,
people. You call them
absolutely.
newbies, and that
Absolutely.
officially is what you call them for your
Mhm.
team, a newbie, where they're still in training and they're not gonna be ready to bout. Now, when you talk about a bout, I've heard your outfit's called bout fits. Tell me how you decide what your bout fit's gonna be.
Well, we'll have to wear the same jersey top, and the bottoms are our own choice. Mine, I like to wear skirts.
And you like the schoolgirl thing.
I do. So it'll have something underneath to protect the rest of me, but
Okay.
a lot of some of the girls will put like roughly panties on the outside, and
Uh-huh.
all different.
Sex it up, sex it up. I mean, we're talking
I
about
mean, it's
keeping
still
it
some
clean,
entertainment.
but
Yeah.
yeah, it's still kind of sexy
Yeah, you
and
want the
pretty
kids to
fun.
look up to you, yeah. You want to, exude confidence without, without it being,
You don't want everything hanging out. We still
A bad
keep things
example.
covered, but
So who's the outfit police?
our council, our president, pretty much.
Your
has to-
president.
Yeah.
Has to say, okay, that's going a little too far.
Yeah, if it's a go or it's a no, definitely. I'm into the short shorts, haven't heard any,
complaints yet.
Yeah.
No complaints, no
Complaints so
complaints
far,
on
so-
that. Do you have little
Definitely.
shopping excursions where you kind of get together? I mean, that's got to be half the girl fun. You know, girls always like to dress up together.
But
Is
it's
that
like
half the
now,
fun?
lots of stuff
So
off
far,
the
yeah, so
internet
far it's
and-
been your own thing. We do have an amazing site where we finally have Sirens gear available, so.
You
I
have
know a
actually
lot of
quite a
us-
few things available,
do.
and those are helping
We do.
fund your sport and your team.
Absolutely, it goes all towards the teams.
And Crystal, you wanted to also make sure, you asked me during break to make sure and give you an opportunity to talk about your involvement in the community and what your vision and your goals are as a group of ladies with this sport here in Salina.
Absolutely, we just really, we want to be taken very seriously, we want to be seen as a very positive, constructive part of our community, so it's very important that we're involved. We've been in parades, we've helped with DVAC, so a lot of really cool opportunities to look forward to. We hope, to be able to reach out to a whole bunch of different avenues. We've face painted at school, school programs, so.
Well, and I
Many
think
things.
anytime you add that volunteer component to being able to come into one of your bouts and be eligible to be in a bout, you're going to be reaching out to different things in your community. So you said DVAC's an organization
Mhm.
you've been involved with.
Absolutely.
Sadly, I'm sure there are people on your team that have had issues with that, and maybe have even been a client or has looked at the services of DVAC, so many of those, and women helping women, women
Exactly,
empowering
exactly.
women.
Well, and we, on Facebook, we are in touch with a lot of different avenues of other derby families as well, and, the domestic abuse, it's something that really needs to be, it's not something to take lightly, it's very serious, and if we can teach other women to be strong and powerful, then, my goodness, my job's been done, so I would just love to be.
Anything you can add to that, Lucy?
Positive.
That's a pretty powerful message that she's saying there.
I think that, I don't know if we have players that have had that, but I can at least say that if we do, we're giving them the power to be able to stand up.
Yeah, right.
Giving them a
And just
system to go
statistically
with help.
speaking, again, not that you do, but, statistically speaking, you get any group of women together and there's gonna be some element of that, coming out. But, to have them know that, they can become a family, become a sisterhood with this group of teammates and show their confidence, their own assertiveness and all of that, so.
Nobody deserves to be alone, so
Mhm.
it's just really nice to know that you have people there,
You
don't
bet.
really have to struggle silently anymore,
Well, great note to end on, ladies. Thank you so much for coming in and
Thank
telling
you.
us about
Thank you for
Salina
having us.
Sirens. Well, you've been listening to Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show. Be sure again to go to joanjerkovich.com for the video outtakes. They're high-fiving each other over here. The video outtakes and links to our iTunes and my blog site. Thanks for joining us today for innovative talk radio that surprises, entertains, and sometimes informs you, and sometimes brings you ladies in fishnet stockings. It's the Joan Jerkovich Show, 9 a.m. Saturdays and Sundays on 910 KINA Salina. Stopped it. No, I guess I went over. We're okay. We're good. Well, thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank
How
you.
fun.
Yeah, that was
It
very
is.
cool, thank you for
So
your
Devin's,
time.
when Devin's available, we'll have you guys do a little skate around.
Very cool.
He's a videographer, so he's better at telling us what to do with that than me.
Yeah, that'll be perfect.
And he said too, wow, that'd be perfect that you guys,
Yeah, very
on
cool.
the YouTube, that'll help promote. And,
Yeah.
mhm,
Sounds
mhm.
good.
How fun. I can tell you enjoy this. I'm like,
I
We do.
It's more than enjoyment. I told my husband the other day, my
Mhm.
husband and I have been together for a very long time, so
mhm,
we're just very comfortable with each other.
Sure.
We're going to share 14 years together. So I
Mhm.
told him, there's not a lot that I'm certain of, but I'm
Mhm.
certain that you are married to a roller derby chick.
Mm.
I am.
And you called yourself a
Yeah.
chick. I was a little afraid of calling you guys roller chicks, but I love that.
No,
Chick,
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be
to
forever.
me, is empowering almost,
It
when
is.
you say it in the right context,
It is.
and so that's cool.
And our trainer doesn't even know what to call us. He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
are you
he's like,
gals,
wow,
guys,
yeah.
chicks?
And this is a man?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually our president, Kim. It's her brother. who's
Okay,
a member of this, so. We
Well,
have
and
a
I
couple of
know,
trainers. Meredith's husband,
okay.
Mike, he
Uh-huh.
is working with us as well.
And my
Well,
husband's
and-
working on being a referee, so.
Well, and I know, you know, just even talking about men who've coached girls' sports of any kind, you know, there's a different sentiment they have to bring to it versus guys. You know, we
Absolutely.
don't want to make them cry, you know, but we got to be tough, you know.
and he
But
catches
you're a little
lot of
older
heat
than
from
some of
us.
those I've talked to who are
Yeah.
talking about, you
And
know,
he gets a lot of
coaching
heat
high
from us.
school. High
We're
school.
spunky.
Oh yeah, I bet you guys just
yeah,
talk
we're
Yeah.
spunky. We don't.
We do,
yeah.
we
He
That's
puts up with a
hilarious.
lot.
Yeah. How
He's definitely
fun.
gotta have a lot
Start
of
yelling at him.
Yeah.
We're blunt and to the point with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.